Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to our live session, and our topic is latest updates for students going for September 2022 in the UK. Hello everyone. Thanks for joining in. Thank you, Alago. Thank you, Pinky, for joining in. Thank you. Hi. Okay. We're going to wait for other persons to join us. Yes. So today's topic is latest update for students going to study in the UK for September 2023. Oh, sorry, September 2022. That's next month. So you want to know the latest update. Yeah. Hi everyone. Hi. My name is Chioma. So I'm not a new face in life. I guess you've seen me before. I'm happy to see you. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Yes. It is time. So I'm waiting for others to join in. You're all welcome. Damio, Hollat, Peaceful. Welcome. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. Hi, Rachel. Thank you for joining in. Today's live is not going to be so long. So it's just going to be a brief live, but very informative. So it's going to be brief, but very informative. Okay. Thank you for joining in. So we're talking about updates that you need to know for those that are going for September intake this year, 2022. So things you need to do, do's and don'ts. We're going to be talking about deadlines, CAS deadlines. I'm going to be talking about your CAS shield. Talk about a little about some little information on your visas, not too much. Then we're talking about applications too. So it's gonna be fun. I just hope you enjoy my live today and you get informed with all the updates I'll be dropping today. Okay, so as we know, many schools have closed for application for September 2022. So applications for so many schools in the UK have closed. So the only things that are still opening are just deadlines for CAS. So some schools are still issuing CAS, while many schools have closed. Many schools closed last month, some last week, some will close this week. So I'll be mentioning a few schools that have closed and those that are still issuing CAS. Yes, and we all know what CAS is. CAS is your confirmation of acceptance of study. Without your CAS, you cannot proceed to the visa stage. Without your CAS, you cannot get your visa to go to the UK. So CAS is very important. Very important. Hello, Ami. Hello. Thank you for joining in. Oh, thank you, Holumba. Nexi is very helpful to my brother. Thank you too. Thank you. Blessing, thank you for joining in. Don't worry, today will be a wonderful day. I won't be taking much of your time. Just a little update. Not much to say. September is next month, so we don't really have much to say. But the few things that I have to say are going to be of benefit to you or any of your loved ones that will be going in for study next month. That's September 2022. Okay. Alright, so let me start, then I'll go back for a recap. So we're talking about deposit and CAS deadlines. Yes, for Birmingham City University, they're having their CAS deadline on the 26th of August. Yes, so this month, 26th of August, BCU will stop issuing CAS. So that's the deadline. After 26th, you can't receive any cars or anything to the next intake. So we need you to hurry now and do the necessary things that you need to do to enable you get your cars. Then for Oxford Brookes University, the deadline for September 2022 intake was on the 31st of July. So in other words, it has closed. For Oxford Brookes, they've stopped issuing cards. It closed last month, 31st, that's the last day of July. Yes. Welcome, Emo Hex. Welcome, still Naomi. Okay. Then deadline for deposits for Oxford Brookes was last month, 31st, but for their cash issuance, please, it's on the 22nd of August. So please. So for those that applied or have loved ones or friends that applied to Oxford Brookes University, please inform them that their CAS deadline will be on the 22nd of August, 2022. So everything I'm talking about is for this year. It's against September. Then for LGU, their final CAS deadline is on the 12th of August. 12th of August. No, it's not CAS, it's CAS, like CAS. That's confirmation of acceptance of study. That's what the CAS means. Now you get to a CAS stage after you might have put in your application, you've been given an unconditional offer. You cannot get a CAS with a conditional offer, but you can get a CAS with an unconditional offer. So after you've been issued an unconditional offer, you await your CAS. There's some things you need to do before you get to the CAS stage, and I'm going to talk about those things you need to do. Thank you, Becky, for coming. Thanks for joining in. For BCU, their CAS deadline is on the 26th of this month. That's 26th of August for BCU. For those who don't know BCU, BCU is Birmingham City University. Yeah. So many BCUs here. So yes, 26th of August. So you don't have much time. You have to be fast, like flash. So okay, the next school I'll be talking about is RG. That's Robert Gordon University. Deposit and deadline 29th July, but for their final CAS is going to be 12th of August. So LGU is still yes. Like I said, today's live is going to be brief but yet informative. So I'll be talking about Derby. Derby is closed, both for tuition deposit and CAS. They're closed. They closed since early this week or last month. So Derby is closed. So for those waiting on Derby, sorry. Then for Bradford's CAS deadline was 24th of July. So automatically it's closed. So those that want to go to Bradford for September that have not been issued CAS, I'm sorry. You have to wait till January. You have to define admission to January. And what else? Portsmouth, the deadline is also closed, 31st of July. Like I said, many schools have closed for issuance of CAS. Many schools had their deadlines last month. They had the deadline last month. So if you're not able to meet up, you can always try in January. January is not far. The year is almost gone. So you can always try January. You don't need to give up. And for Edinburgh Napier University, also closed 25th of July. Sunderland, for those going to University of Sunderland, you still have 5 days to meet up. After the 15th of August, there will be no issuance of CAS. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's how it is for University of Sunderland. So 15th of August, that will be the CAS deadline for Sunderland. And what other school do I have here? Okay, I have for Greenwich University. For the documents deadline, it's on the 19th, that's 9 days from now. And for the CAS itself, CAS issuance deadline is on the 26th. So on or before 26th of this month, you ought, hi Justice, on or before the 26th of this month, you ought to be ready for your CAS. After 26th of this month, no more CAS until the next intake. So yes, until the next intake. These are the few schools that have their CAS closed, and those, just a few of them that still have it open for this month. If you notice, you hardly see any school that is still having their CAS deadline around 30th of this month. No, it's not possible. Many schools, their course start dates on the 5th of September. So the good thing about having your CAS on time is that you have enough time for your visa application. You understand? You have enough time for your visa application and all. So I also talk about the CAS deadline for those that are just joining in. I will still repeat myself again for the purpose of the newbies. So now, another update I want to give you out is there's so many schools in the UK that have changed their style. So many schools now they've now introduced credibility interview into their system. Before, we only had a few schools that conduct credibility interview. Now, majority of all the schools, I would say 80% or more of all the schools in the UK conduct credibility interview. So for those that don't know what credibility interview is, it's an interview that checks the assessment of an applicant to know if they are fit for that course they choose to study. That's just a summary of what a credibility interview is. So a credibility interview is an assessment of a student's ability to know if a student is actually fit to study that course. So in other words, your conditional offer is not still a guarantee that you will get your CAS and you will go to the UK. Now, after you've gotten your own conditional offer, while you await your CAS, they will conduct a credibility interview. Meaning, you have to defend what you wrote on your personal statement. You have to defend your certificate. You said you're a graduate, right? Second class upper, second class lower. You have to defend it. And how do you defend it? Is by answering some certain questions that are not new. These are questions that you answered during when you were writing your personal statement. So it's something related to what you do for a living, your biography. It's related to why you chose the country, why you choose the course, your future career path, your financial strength. So it's very important. So, like I said, more than 80% of the schools in the UK conduct credibility interview. So, let me talk about how to dress for a credibility interview. Just look formal, look okay. It's not something too hard. Just look like, it's just like a Zoom. It's just half of your body that you show. You're not seeing all your full body. So look nice, look presentable, whether male or female, you understand? And I would advise you get there 15 minutes earlier than the time. When they say this, an interview starts in 10 a.m., you don't need to get there 10:05, 10:10, 10:15. You need to get there 9:45. Be more relaxed. Yes, you need to be more relaxed. It's not something hard. You know the course you chose. you know what you want, so you expressing yourself virtually to them and telling them why you chose that school, why you want to come to the UK. You need to convince them, you understand? And when they are convinced enough, they send you a mail that you passed, and the next stage is for your cast. You smile, and when you get your cast in the visa stage, and voila, you're ready for UK. So about the cast shield, about the credibility interview. Now, before you get to that part of the credibility interview, there's something you need to do before you get to that stage of credibility interview. Now, when you've been issued an unconditional offer, and if you can hear me clearly, so once you've been issued an unconditional offer, you'll be required to fill a cash shield. So schools have cash shields that you need to fill. Now, a cash shield is like a check, the reassessment of all your documents. Now it's for you. Now it's like a link. In that link, you create your username and a password. A username and a password for you to always log in. Now, in the cash shield, there are things you need to do, do's and don'ts in your cash shield. Now cash shield, you need to hi Rod, Ruth, hi Lo, Freddie Chris, thank you for joining in. So as I was saying about the cash shield, now these are lists of documents. They are requiring all the list of documents you use during your application process. Now those documents, those important documents you submitted during your application process, now you need to re-upload them on your cash shield. Documents like your certificate, your transcript, your passport, and new documents like your tuition deposit slip, that means your telex copy. Telex is the receipt for your receipt of payments, whether deposit or full tuition. It's called the telex. So there's a part in the cash shield where you are to upload those documents. So you see a part where you have to upload your certificate, your WAEC, your transcript, your passport, your TB certificate. That's the new one. Now TB certificate, tuberculosis certificate. So they're expected that you ought to have that certificate already. So there's a part for you to upload your TB certificate, and also lastly your bank statement. Now before you get to that bank statement part, they ask you questions of your financial stance, your financial capability, information. So they want to know how much you've allocated for your study. So there's a part you fill in the exact amount in your cash shield, in your bank statements. So they want to know all those information. Now there's one thing to note during the filling of your cash shield. When you should know that before you upload any document, you need to be thorough. You need to be sure that you're uploading the right document in the right section. Imagine now they're asking you to put your certificate, your degree certificate. Don't go and put WAEC where the degree certificate is supposed to be, because once you upload a document, you can't remove it. You cannot delete it. It stays there. So when uploading your document on your cash shield, please, you need to be very, very careful. Please. Once you've uploaded any document like this, you can't remove it. So yes, in that cash shield, you definitely get a date for your credibility interview. You'll be scheduled for a date for your credibility interview. Now, because of the rush right now, they are giving out dates on time. Before, it used to take time, they'll give you enough time for you to prepare for the interview. But because of the rush, and September is just next month. Dates are flying for credibility interview. In other words, you need to be fast. You need to start reading. Yeah, it's like exam, but it's not hard. You need to start reading, preparing, prepping yourself towards that date you were given for your credibility interview. It's very important. If you don't pass this interview, you won't be given CAST, and without CAST, there is no visa. So they come in hand to hand. hand to hand. These are the updates now. This is the stage we are in right now. We are in the stage of credibility interview and cash assurance. That's the stage plus visa. That's the stage where we've passed the stage of application. Nobody is doing any application for September. It's too late. It's not even open. Many schools are closed for that. All schools are closed for application for September. So the stage we are in, stage for credibility interview and cash issuance. So what I need to tell you is some tips to improve yourself when preparing for a credibility interview. Hi, John Faraday. Hi, Faraday. Okay, now for those of us that are always tensed when we're in front of our phones, in front of the computer, or talking to people in person or virtually, there are some few tips I can help you out with that can make you relax. You understand? Make you relax when you are being interviewed. You'll be able to scale through. So it's normal for you if you are tensed, it's normal for you to get tensed. But how do you manage yourself when you get tensed, when you're going for your credibility interview? One trick I tell people that I prep: smile. When you're tense, please smile. There's something that smiles do. You don't understand. Smiles help you relax as a person. Smiles help the interviewers to relax too. They're okay, they want to hear from you. People love anyone that smiles a lot. Yes. So you have to learn to smile. You understand? Take a deep breath, take your time. When they're asking you questions, take your time. When I mean take your time, I'm not saying that you talk like a snail. I'm not saying that you should be slow and be answering one like that. I'm trying to say, take your time, like talk normally, but be very audible. Very, very audible. You know, these people need to hear you. Don't form accents, don't fake an accent because you're talking to whether a black person that grew up in the UK or you're talking to a white woman or a white man. Own your accents, but be audible. The most important thing, the only thing you need to be focusing on, if the person listening to you understands what you're saying. You understand? Don't form accent, don't do all this phonetics and all. You don't need that. All you need to do is to be audible, speak, answer a question with so much confidence. So you need confidence, you need to be confident of yourself. Definitely you prepared for the interview. So you need that confidence. These people are not masquerades. They are human beings like you and I. You understand? So you just talk to them, answer them. They are human beings like you. Don't need to be scared. So long as you know what you are saying, it's no big deal. You understand? Then when introducing yourself, when they ask you to introduce yourself, they don't just want to know your name. Of course they see your name, they have your information with them, but they want to know if you know how to introduce yourself. So when they ask you to introduce yourself, you're not expected to say only your name. Now to tell them your name, what you graduated with, what you studied in school, and to tell them what course you intend on going for masters. You have to also tell them about your employment history, where you've worked, then your hobbies. That's all. So you talk about yourself, your educational history, your employment history, and see, if you have, for example, you have worked in 10 places, you don't need to mention all the 10 places, please. I know I said employment history, your working history. If you have worked in 10 places, you don't need to mention all the 10 places, it becomes boring. Just talk maybe the 3 most recent places you've worked that aligns with the course you are going for. Use that one to boost yourself and talk about the course you applied for. You understand? The course you applied for in the UK, you talk about it, why you choose the course and all, just a little. And tell them what you do for fun. That's how to introduce yourself. So when they say what's your name, like they ask what's my name, I'm not just going to say my name is Chioma Johnson. I will go further to say my name is Chioma Johnson. I attended this school and I'm a graduate of this, and I work with this, and I intend to go for this masters, and I do swimming during my spare time. It's simple, it's not hard. So another thing you should take note of during your credibility interview. You're not expected to have a book in front of you and start flipping. Expo is not around. They don't do expo there. Once they notice that you are cheating or you are spying or anything, they end your interview and that's it. You get denied. So these things are easy. You just have to be prepared. You have to be relaxed and do your thing. All you need to do is read. Now, for my agency, Next Day Concept Limited, we have prepared likely questions that we give out to our clients who are getting ready for that stage. Yes, for those that are getting ready for the credibility interview, we have questions that we give out. You understand? Likely questions that to be asked during that interview. We help you out. We prep you. We make you prepared. You understand? We create time for everybody that is scheduled for an interview. Yes, that's what we do. Myself and all of my colleagues. So we create time for our applicants to prepare for the interview. We teach you how to be relaxed. Yes, how to answer questions, what to do, and how to smile. Yes, very important. So for those just joining in, the topic is latest update for those who are to study in the UK for September 2022 intake. So these are the updates I'm sending out now. First updates are credibility interview. Second updates are about deadlines for CAS. Then another thing I'll be talking about is you need to, for those that have not done the necessary things now, please, you need to be fast in doing the necessary things that will aid you in getting your CAS, because getting a date for visa is very hard now. It's for those that, if you have friends in that state, they'll tell you that it's very hard now to get dates for visa. So the earlier you get your CAS, the better for you. I mentioned a few deadlines for schools that have closed since 31st of July, and schools that have closed last week, closing this week, and schools that will be closing next week. So I mentioned a few schools. For those of you that still have questions or want to know when other schools will be closing, schools I didn't mention, you kindly send a DM. So you'll be giving that information. So you send a DM to me and you'll be giving an information on the schools you're interested in and when their CAS deadline would be. So for those that don't know what CAS is confirmation of acceptance for study. Yes, that's it. So now I know that here everybody on this live, not everybody is going for September 2022. So some are just knowing about us, knowing that we help out with UK, US, Australia, Canada, and Ireland. Yes, we help out with these countries. We do application study, help you study abroad in these 5 countries I have listed above. Now, for those that are interested in January 2023 application, you understand? You want to go for January, you want to go to the UK in January for a particular study. Now, guess what? I know you may be thinking January is about 4 to 5 months away. It's early, I still have time. Nah, no more time. You know why I said no more time? There are so many persons that have been putting applications since last 2 months. Like they've been putting applications for January. Now there's an advantage for early birds. The earlier you apply, the better and the safer for you. So now some of you that are interested in studying in January, going for January intake, you'll be like, I don't have all the complete documents, I don't have my certificate, but I have my statement of results, I don't have my transcript yet, it's just my certificate I have, my passport is expired, or I can't go. Now, you can actually apply with a statement of results. You can actually apply if you don't have a transcript, so long you are working on getting one. The only difference is that you'll be given a conditional offer. You understand? You'll be able to only secure a conditional offer. You won't get an unconditional offer. No, you wouldn't. So you'll be only able to grab a conditional offer. Now, why am I saying that you still start applying now against January? Because schools like University of Derby, because of the rush now, many persons that applied for September were not able to get their cars. So the school themselves pushed them to January, then deferred them automatically to January because they didn't apply on time. Now this is not the applicant saying they want to go for January intake. This is school making that decision and pushing them to the next intake because of the large volume of applications and that the school got. Now the people that were safe were those that have started applying since as early as this year, as early as last year. So those ones escaped that push forward. They escaped it. That's what I'm saying. If you know you're interested in going to the UK January, please send in your documents for application. Send in your statement of results if you don't have a degree certificate. Send in your passport even if it's going to expire tomorrow. The most important thing is that you are preparing yourself for a renewal of the passport, because you cannot get a card with an expired passport or a visa with an expired passport. You know that. So sooner or later you still need to renew your passport. So now for those, let me go back to September 2022. So for those going for September 2022 intake, and you know that your passport is going to expire 6 months after course start date, please be common. Please go and start the process of renewing that passport. The earlier you renew this passport, the better for you, because to get a date for capturing now is it's hard. It's very hard. So I would advise that you start renewing your passport, because it will affect you in the visa stage. Like, how will you be traveling to the UK with a passport that will expire 6 months after course start date? Now course start date is the first week of September, right? 6 months into that, that's September, October, November. I'll count it. September, October, November, December, January, February. Imagine by February your passport is expiring, or by January, then how will you now renew it when you get there? It's not possible. So for those that know they have passport that will expire 6 months into the course start date, please start the process now. Getting a date for capturing is hard, even if you have connections. Getting a date is hard, so the earlier the better. Same for those that are going for January intake. You know that your passport will expire in June 2023 and you want to go in January. Because it's not too early. Start applying for a new one now, please. It's not too early to apply for January. It's not too early to apply for your passport and all. It's not too early at all. So we have a lot of people. For January take, we have more than enough of applications that we've submitted for people for January. Like this January, I beg. So you not be among the ones that will choke it like it choke. You not be among those ones. Please start applying now. So they will not now push you in September. You know, some courses are available in September. Not all schools have May intake, only a few schools. Now imagine you are going to a school like Birmingham City that doesn't have May intake. That means you miss January, September, 9 months time. That means you don't want that. So please just bring your document the way it is. Bring it like that. So long you have statement of results, you have WAEC, okay? You have WAEC C6, minimum of C6. It's okay. You are good to go. You have D3 perfect, C4 no wahala. Now for those that don't have WAEC and NECO, you still have time to write IELTS. Bring it. If it's IELTS you have, bring it. It can get you somewhere. If you have your certificate, you have a transcript, but you don't have WAEC and NECO, but you have IELTS, bring it. It can fly. And don't forget, I will mention the documents for those that are newbies here that you need to provide for your application process against January 2022. You need your degree certificate, degree transcript, your WAEC, your updated CV, you need your work reference, you need your academic reference, you need your passport. You need your passport, and you need your personal statement to apply. Once you have all these things, you're good to go. Now, like I will say again, for those that don't have certificates, bring your statement of result. For those that, we understand that there is strike, and we hope they call off the strike as soon as possible, so you can get your required document. Once they do, no wahala, just bring it and apply for January 2023 It's not fine anymore. This year is gone already. So for those that didn't join me from the beginning, I was talking about the latest updates for those that are going to the UK to study for September 2023. And I mentioned a few schools that have their deadline already, and some schools that are still open for cash issuance. And I'll go over it again for the sake of the new ones that are just joining in. Yes, I care about y'all. Yes, I care about you. So I said for Birmingham City University, their CAS deadline is on the 26th of August 2022. So that 2 weeks time. So yes, please, BC is very lenient. Birmingham City, they are very lenient. You can see theirs is still 26. So please do the right things. Do the needful that you need to do so you can also get your own CAS. Yeah, please. Then Oxford Brookes University, their endeavor to get your CAS, please, before the 22nd of August, because after the 22nd of August, nothing again to the next intake. Then for Robert Gordon University, it's actually on the 12th of August. For Robert Gordon University, that's 2 days time. That's on Friday. After Friday, you won't be able to get any CAS from Robert Gordon University. Then for Derby is closed. Yes, Derby is closed. Then Bradford is the University of Bradford. You understand? Bradford is closed too. Portsmouth is closed. ENU is closed. That's Edinburgh Napier University. Edinburgh Napier University is also closed. Sunderland is still on until the 15th of this month, 15th August. That's the CAS deadline for University of Sunderland. So for those going for Sunderland, please take note. For Greenwich University is on the 26th of this month, just like Birmingham City University. On the 26th of this month, that will be the deadline for their CAS. Now, I also talked about credibility interview. What it is an interview that is used to checkmate the ability of an applicant. It is an assessment of if the applicant is actually qualified to study the given course. So they just want to know whether you're qualified, you know what you're doing, they want to know your financial strength, if you have enough money for the study. They also want to know if you know about the school you're going to, if you know where the location is, if you know about the course, you know where your campus is, and they want to know where you want to stay and all that. It's just like a cross-check, it's an assessment. So you know you wrote your personal statement, you know what you wrote there, so you just like tell them a few things about the course. Tell them why you like UK, why you want to go to the UK, what is that thing that attracted you to the UK, why did you choose that school amongst every other school in the UK, why did you choose that particular school. You should be able to tell them why, and why you chose that course. You be able to tell them why you chose the course, and what benefit the course will be to you, in future for career prospects and all. And I talked about how to compose yourself. You understand? You need to be formal, how to dress. You don't need to do too much. Just, as if you're going for an interview. How will you dress if you're going for an interview? You look neat and presentable. You understand? And I also said something about being relaxed. So one trick of being relaxed is me. No, I'm not in the UK. I'm not in the UK. I'm here in Nigeria. So I'm not in the UK. But I'm helping you guys. If you're interested in going to the UK, we got you. Yeah, we got you. You want to go to the UK? Send your documents and we'll help you out. So as I was saying, the way you dress matters a lot. You understand? Don't overdo things. Just keep it simple. You want to get relaxed. Smile when you're tensed. Take your time. Don't be too slow. Don't be too fast. Be audible. No need for phonetics. Speak English the way you understand it, so long you know you are correct and fluent. You understand? So long you know the person listening to you can understand what you're saying. I'm eloquent, right? I'm audible, and you can still tell I'm fluent, right? So that's it. That's what you need to do. Answer questions the way they ought to be answered with so much confidence. Please don't show them that you are confused or you're scared. You get? So just be yourself during the interview. Then I also talked about the cash shield, what a cash shield is, and what do's and don'ts that you need to do when filling out your cash shield. I said something. When uploading documents, you need to be very careful that you're uploading the right document in the right section. You understand? Do not upload a document that is needed for your degrees. Do not upload your WAEC results where they ask you to upload your degree certificate. Don't put your transcript where they ask for passports. So whenever you're filling out your cash sheet, you need to be fully involved. You need to concentrate, please, because any document you fill in, you cannot delete it. It's there like that. You can only add, and you don't want to have two conflicting documents for just one question. You get? Now someone is asking, no sir, yes, does BCU do precast interview? Of course they do. They don't joke with it. Very important. Yes, it's very important. It's very, 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 very important. They do that a lot. Many schools, like more than 80% of schools in the UK, do credibility interview. So someone is asked, okay, yeah, thank you, Mixed Boy. Yeah, Mixed Boy said he has done his credibility interview. You see that he's saying it. It's obvious that he passed. That's why he's trying to tell you he has done it. Yes, it's not hard. He can tell you how far. So what is a cash shield? Now, a cash shield is like an assessment of all your documents. It's like a portal where you need, every student has a username and a login details into that particular portal. Now in that portal, you have to upload everything that has to do with your application. Now you have to upload in that cash sheet. I don't know if you understand me, Demola. You have to upload your degree certificate, your transcript, your passports, your TB certificates, your telex copy. Telex copy is the same as deposit receipts. You understand? Whether deposit or any money you have to pay is called that receipt. You have to upload it. There's a space for it in a cash shield, and also your bank statement. Now when all these things is done, cash shield, confirmation of acceptance studies, like a portal. You understand? It's like a link. And when you filled everything to 100%, then you'll be issued a cast. But before they give you that cast, if the school conducts a credibility interview, you have to do the interview first. You have to do the interview first before you'll be giving cast. Now, if you pass, then they will give you cast. That's for the school, those schools that conduct credibility interview. For those schools that conduct credibility interview, then for those schools that do not conduct credibility interview, like university or all, after you be given your unconditional offer, you get a link in your portal to create your login details for your cash shield, and you go and cross-check. It's like you cross-checking. You cross-check all the informations there and fill in the requested document that you need to fill in the cash shield. Once you are done, you click on submit, then you wait for your cast to be given out to you. Okay. For those that apply on time, not during rush period. Once I'm talking to no sir. So you're asking after your admission, when will you get your admission offer, right? So when you've put in your application, you'll be getting your offer. It depends on the school. Some school takes 4 weeks, some 6 weeks, some 3 weeks, some 2 weeks. So everything depends on the school. So every school is not the same. Every school doesn't issue offer at the same time. So everything depends on the school. Everything depends on the school you're applying to. Now, it's not compulsory you get a conditional offer first. Now, if your documents are perfect, your personal statement is on check, you have your certificates, you have your transcript, you have all the required documents I listed earlier, and your personal statement is top notch, you'll be given an unconditional offer straight up. You understand? So you don't necessarily have to get a conditional offer first. Mostly when when something is missing in your application, they give you a conditional offer. Your personal statement is not well written, or you didn't upload one particular document, then you'll be giving out a conditional offer. And in that conditional offer, they will list the reasons, they will list your condition, they will tell you what you need to provide to get to that unconditional offer. So it's not necessarily that you get a conditional offer first before you get an unconditional offer. So the issuance of offer depends on the school. But for early birds, easier the better. Another thing you should consider, please, when you know that you want to study in the UK, please be ready. Be ready financially. It's no jokes. Getting an offer is not hard. But you need to be financially ready so that when you get an offer, it's time for you to pay your deposit. That money is supposed to be ready. You need to get that money ready. You don't need to wait till you get an offer before you start hustling for your deposit. You understand? There's no time. The earlier, the better for you. Now, the good thing about the UK is you can apply for your visa 6 months before your course start date. That means, imagine you are going in January, you have applied for visa, you've gotten your conditional offer, done everything, and you're getting your visa now. You're just chilling till January. Makes sense, right? So please, make sure you are financially capable and financially ready before you think of putting in an application, because getting an offer is sure. Now, the type of offer you're going to get depends on you. It depends on you. Now, Feishara Vivian, you say you've done your credibility interview, submitted your bank statement and TB test. You haven't been given CAS. Like I said, this is a rush hour. They focus on early birds. Definitely, you've done everything, but you have to be patient. So long the school's deadline, CAS deadline, has not passed, you still get your CAS. You still get your CAS. So just be a little bit patient. And this is why we're telling those going for January now to start applying to avoid this rush. But Faisha, don't be scared. You will definitely get your CAS. So long the school's deadline has not passed, you will get your CAS. So let me start answering questions. Yeah, it's almost 1 hour. Okay, you can send in your questions. You have questions, send in your questions. I'll answer them. Yes, don't forget that you can always send us a DM if you are not satisfied with the response you're getting on this live. You can also always send us a DM, and definitely we are going to respond to you. We're going to respond to you. A quick one. To tell you something, like a good news, we are having our virtual fair. Yes, our virtual fair. Next Concept is having a virtual fair on the 22nd of this month, August to 27th of this month. August 2022, we're having our virtual fair, and we know that you don't want to miss it. We don't want you to miss it. In this virtual fair, you'll be having the opportunity to talk one-on-one with our counselors. Isn't that awesome? Isn't it amazing? Now you'll be able to talk to, like, our counselors have colleagues in the counseling department. You'll be able to talk to them. You'll be able to talk to Tony, you'll be able to talk to Ruth, you'll be able to talk to Blessing, you'll be able to talk to Smiley Mo, you'll be able to talk to Abigail. I mentioned, see, they are fine and good people, that they are capable. You're going to talk to every one of them. They are going to have your time, like time for you alone, from the 22nd of August to 27th of August. They are going to have your time. So any questions you'll be needing to ask, that virtual fair, just come with all of them. Come with everything you need to know. Okay, and you have to register for you to gain access to this virtual fair. And for you to be able to register, you have to click on the link on our bio. Yes, there is a link on our bio that will lead you to how to register for your virtual fair, So for those joining in, the virtual fair is going to take place on the 22nd August 2022 to 27th August 2022. So this is a fair. Now, in this virtual fair, we won't be talking about UK. We'll talk about UK, Ireland, those that want to go to Australia, those that want to go to Canada, and those that really want to go to the United States of America. So in this virtual fair, you'll be able to have that time, that opportunity to discuss about your choice country for study with our counselors. Now, like I said, Mixed Boy, he said for those that have their start date in the 5th of September and someone getting cast, like say on the 20th of this month, I hope it's not going to affect visa processing, since they said it takes 3 weeks. Like I said, so long your cast deadline has not passed, there's still hope. You just need to be prayerful. Although visa is hard to get dates, so you just have to be hopeful. You just have to be hopeful. Getting a date for visa, it's not in my hands at all. So you just have to be hopeful. That's just it. Yes. So I hope I was able to give you the information, latest updates for 2022 September intake. For those that want to study in the UK, I hope I was able to dish out some information you were not aware of. For those that are new, that don't know that so many schools conduct credibility interview in the UK, at least now you know. So you know that you have to look beyond getting an unconditional offer. You don't need to relax. The only time you need to relax is after you've gotten your cast. You understand? Your cast, that means the school has accepted you for their study. So you show them that cast document is like a proof. You show the visa, UK VI and all that. So please, yes, we help with visa processing, like from start to finish, from your application process to your, we got you, like we are here for you. So we do everything, like everything to the latter, from bottom to top. So we do everything. Yes, we help with your visa processing. So yes, we help you with your application process, we help you with your visa processing and all. Just be with us. Francis, thank you for joining in. Although you joined late, I'm sorry, but thank you for joining in. So those are the updates we have for September 2022. Yes, any questions? Do you have more questions? Send in your questions, or you can also, if you think your question is too lengthy and you don't want to discuss it on live, you can always send us a DM. Don't forget, I mentioned our virtual fair coming up on the 22nd of August to 27th of August, where you have the chance to communicate one-on-one with our counselors, talking about your interest in whether UK, Ireland, Australia, Canada, and United States of America. Whatever your interest might be in any of these 5 countries, we got you. And make sure you register for a virtual fair, or okay, I will try and recap, Francis, just for you. So make sure you don't miss out. So those that say, how do I register for this virtual fair? Good news. We have a link on our bio. Click on that link and it takes you. Yeah, you will definitely get a recording of this live. Yes. Oh, thank you. It's interesting, right? Thank you. So for those that want to register for our virtual fair, just click on the link on our bio. It takes you to where you register for the virtual fair. Please, everybody should register. See, knowledge is never enough. Knowledge can never be enough. And knowledge is what molds us. Knowledge is what builds us and gives us that confidence wherever we find ourselves. So even if you have some ideas about these countries, just, I'm sure when you register for that virtual fair, you will get new information that you never knew existed. So I'm begging you, please register for a virtual fair. So like I said, a recap of what I said for those people like Francis joining in. I talked about the cast deadline for a few schools. I don't talk about all the schools, but a few schools. Then for those that really want information on whatever school that I did not mention, please send a DM. ASAP, response will be given to you. So I talked about cast deadline for Birmingham City University, which is on the 26th of August. OT Magic is IELTS compulsory. Once you have your work and you have credits in your work, you're good to go. Yeah, some schools accept NECO, but only a few schools. But if you have a WAEC, perfect. So not all schools make it mandatory for IELTS. Yes, majority of schools in the UK accept WAEC, so long you have nothing less than C6. So for Francis, I was talking about Birmingham City University, deadline being August 26th. I also talked about for their CAS, I talked about RGU. RGU's deadline for final CAS is on the 12th of August. I also talked about Derby. I said University of Derby have closed. Bradford has also closed. Portsmouth also closed. ENU closed. Then Sunderland, University of Sunderland, their CAS deadline is on the 15th. Their CAS deadline is on the 15th of August. Then from Greenwich University, Why do I keep calling it Greenwich? Am I right? I don't. Greenwich. You know the one I'm talking about. So their deadline for CAS issuance deadline is on the 26th of this month. Then I also talked about credibility interview. Having many schools, like more than 80% of schools in the UK now conduct credibility interview. It's an interview that is conducted to check the ability of an applicant. So it's an assessment interview you get. So they want to know if you are fit for the course and also financially buoyant, financially ready for the course you are going to study. They don't want anybody that will come and be owing them. You understand? They are there to teach you and also make money. So I talked about credibility interviews. I talked about things you need to do, do's and don'ts, dress formally, how to stay relaxed, answering questions, being audible, being accurate. Now, this interview has a lot to do with everything about you, from what you wrote in your CV to what you wrote in your personal statement. So they want to know why you want to come to the UK. They want to know why you chose that school. They want to know why you chose the course, if you have made research on the course and all. That's what credibility interview is all about. And they want to also know about your financial strength, if you have the allocated money required for that course. Credibility interview. So many schools, you don't need to relax after getting an unconditional offer. Many schools conduct credibility interview, and it's after you've passed that credibility interview that they will issue CAS to you. They'll give you your CAS. Now, I'm saying the earlier the better. For those going for January intake, they should start sending in their document now for application. It's not early. We have had more than 300, more than 400, 500 applications already for January 23. You can see the volume of people starting now. And I talked about University of Derby having to defer people to January. Now, these persons did not say they want to go for January, but because of the rush, the school couldn't handle the remaining ones, that maybe applications that were pending, so they pushed it to January. Now, you don't want that to happen to you in January, right? You don't want that to happen. So if you have friends and family that are interested in going to the UK in January, please, they can start with the documents they have. If you don't have your certificate, like I said earlier, you can send in your statement of results. If you don't have a WAEC or a NECO, if you have an IELTS that's still valid, please send it to me. If you have a WAEC that has a credit C6, it's valid. Send it to me. Have an updated CV. Have your reference letters ready. Now, what kind of reference letter am I talking about? Academic and work. Then your passport. I also talked about passport expiration. So for those that their passports will be expiring 6 months into course start date, please, you need to start the renewal process of your passport, because it affects you doing visa. They don't want you being in their country and your own country passport has expired. It doesn't make sense. So you start doing that now, because getting the date for capturing is hard. If you know those that are trying to get their passport done now, they will tell you that they have been finding it hard to get capturing dates, whether you have connection or not. It's hard. So please, let's do the right thing at the right time to avoid rush. What else did I talk about? Yes, and I said also, people are getting early dates for this Precast interview because of the rush, because courses are starting next month. Next month is by the corner, so they are getting early dates. Now, I wanted to say something. Let me say something. Okay. So after you've passed your interview and all, for like schools like Birmingham City University, It used to take 2 to 3 days before you get your cars. Now, because of the rush, it takes 5 working days. Yes, it takes 5 working days. Then you give you your cars and go ahead to the next stage, which is the visa stage. So I hope you guys learned something new today. I hope you enjoyed yourself today, because I did. This session, like I said, was going to be short, but I don't know if it was actually short. But it was informative. I know I gave out good information, and I know you enjoyed the information I gave out. Please do not forget about our virtual fair. Please don't forget, it's on the 22nd. That's my best number, So 22nd of August to 27th of August. You have the opportunity to talk to our counselors one-on-one. How do you register? Just click on the link on our bio, and it takes you directly to where you can put in your details and register for this virtual fair. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining in. My name is Chioma. Bye.